Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing "The Tide is Rising." The lyrics are on the screen. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The storm is raging, woo, and so are we. The storm is raging, and so are we. The storm is raging, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The sun is rising, and so are we. The sun is rising. The world is ready, sorry. And so are we. The world is ready, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
Yeah, we gotta wake up, people. All right, come on.
Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. And I know you might have a heavy load, but I can carry some too. I will lift you up when they push you down. I will raise my voice and stand my ground. Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you.
And it looks like it might be a long night,
But I ain't going nowhere.
and I know it's gonna be a hard fight,
But I will stay right here.
I will shine a light in the darkest hour. I will face the man in the tallest tower. Well, it looks like it might be a long night, but I ain't going nowhere.
I will work.
I will fight, I will strive in the name of love.
I will speak.
I will shout, I will sing it to the skies above. Well, it looks like it might be a perilous climb, but I will follow your lead. And I know it might be a long time until the last one of us is freed. But I will hold on tight, stay by your side. I will be with you for the whole long ride. Well, it looks like it might be a perilous climb, but I will follow your lead. Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. And I know you might have a heavy load, but I can carry some too. I will lift you up when they push you down. I will raise my voice and stand my ground. Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. That's right, I'm gonna walk it with you. I'm gonna
walk it with you. I will walk, I will climb, shine my light it the whole night through. Because it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you.
Welcome, all who are restless for a world renewed. We come carried by ancestors who refuse the silence of despair and dare to sing a new song. Their courage whispers through us still.
Today, we resist by showing up together. We resist by keeping faith with what is not yet. Our gathering is itself an act of sacred dissent, calling us to rise and unite as co-creators of a freer tomorrow.
The chalice that we light today is a symbol of our faith. It binds us together as one people, a reminder that our strength is in our shared hope for the world.
And that our common work is the creation of beloved community among ourselves and in the world.
That's right. Good morning. Welcome to the River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ERUUF, as we like to say. My name is Reverend Jacqueline Brett, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, your gender identities, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey or in your search for truth, for meaning, for liberation, we welcome you here in beloved community. And if you are visiting with us today for the first or even the second time, I invite you to rise in body or spirit so that we might give you an ERUUF welcome. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. And thank you for choosing to spend this Sunday morning with us. In the future, if you wish, we have a class that takes place at 10 a.m., and it's in the building next door. It's called Inquiries for Visitors and Newcomers, and it allows you to learn something about us while you also have an opportunity to share something about yourselves as well. And if anyone among you has a child with you, they are welcome to join our children in the religious exploration classes that take place directly after the story, The Time for All Ages. You'll see all the kids gather down here and then scurry out. So your child, if you have one with you, is welcome to join our children as well. Now would be a great time to turn off or down any devices that you might have. And there are a few things going on in addition to Inquirers, which is open to anyone who wants to attend. Our adult programs classes are resuming now that we're all back. And we also have a special class that'll be taking place in a couple of weeks. There's what is it called, Sarah? An orientation to our leaders class. So if you are interested in leadership here at ERUUF, whether you're a new person or an old timer, this class is actually pretty phenomenal. It will teach you what is the difference between leadership you might be exercising in your life and on your jobs or elsewhere versus spiritual leadership in a community such as this. And what does it take to be a leader? And what are the opportunities in a community such as this? So that is open to everyone, though we do ask that you sign up and register. Or do you have to register for the... So there'll be an information session next Sunday and also the following Wednesday, which you should sign up for so that they know how many people to expect, and then the classes start after that. All in your trusty e-news, should you choose to read it. If it hasn't ended up in your pile of emails that you don't look at, I get that too. Or it's actually, the information is on the slides in the gallery. So take a look, and we hope you'll join any of these offerings. So why don't we take a moment to center ourselves into this time, into this space, into this now. And let's all together take a deep breath in and let it out. And we begin with Reverend Jim.
I'm going to invite my lantern lighter down as we prepare for our time for all ages. And Silas is going to light the lantern that in a moment we will carry to religious exploration to continue our exploration for the day. And I see our smallest and mediumest and tallest folks are already coming down as we light this lantern. Thank you, Silas. I have a tiny book here, a tiny but very loud book. It is a book about resistance. See, the theme of our month is going to be resistance. And I think it's something that's been on the mind of a lot of people in our congregation, actually, for the whole year of 2025, and even into 2026. And so, sometimes resistance makes me feel real anxious. Does it make anybody else feel anxious? Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's complicated, right? Because the need for resistance especially makes me feel anxious. And oh my God, am I doing it right? What should I do? So there's a lot of ideas in this little book. Some of them for our old folks and some of our younger folks, you will be like, yes, that makes sense. I've done that. And there's going to be some of them that you're like, oh my gosh, I would be in so much trouble. And so we'll get to that in the afterword. But so be ready for this. This is called We Say No, A Child's Guide to Resistance. When you've had enough of biggies and maddies and meanies and bullies and baddies and grabbies and fools, we say no. Tell them what you think. And when you're in a resistance mode, that is stop. Yeah. It is big. It is big. And make lots of mischief. Because indeed, resistance can bring fun and joy also. Talk to strangers. Now, children, when it says talk to strangers, I would say talk to strangers with a parent or guardian with you. Like, meet new people. This is this is not randomly go up to a stranger. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Ah, okay. So sometimes strangers, a complicated topic, but yes, talk to new people. Hear unexpected things, and think new thoughts, like Let's Revolution. These books have great ideas. Free healthcare for all. I love passive resistance. Let's be annoying. It's an important part of resistance, friends. Flowers are important. I can carry snacks, and I like to roar. Sometimes snacks and roaring are very important in resistance. Form a smiling mob. It's good to have that mob, and form a smiling one. If they build a statue, now this statue, when you see it, it's going to say, our handsome overlord. And he's saying, oh, very handsome about himself. And they're clapping. Now, mind you, you're going to see some people who switch sides in this book. So sometimes you have to improve it, with t-shirts that say I'm a complete goofball. Or maybe a little redrawing of the title, Our Ridiculous Lover Lord. When they ruin stuff, fix it. Now, this is a cute storybook. If they chop down all the trees, you do want to help fix it. You might not want to put a new tree on a tree stump. I don't know that that's the effective way, but it's a cute illustration for the book. Well, because, see, they put some of the new little trees on top of stumps or like a potted plant. They won't be able to grow like that, I don't think. Okay, good. I'm getting some head shakes from the adults. I'm not good with plants, so they have to tell me. When they try to sell you something, like this guy is trying to sell you very fancy and expensive apples, genuine overlord apples. Oh. When they try to sell you something, what do you say? No. You know what to do. Very good. Difference is good, and it makes us all stronger. Make friends with folks who are different from you. Notice there's some friend-making going on between the resistant side and the side that is committed to the overlord. He's saying, I hope you have a really nice day. And he's like, why, thank you. And there's some friendship that's, not working as well, but there's an attempt. Difference is good. Don't be fooled. It's coming. There it is. Don't be fooled. So he's saying, trust me, believe me. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you got to question. Don't be fooled. And you see the person who's changed sides is like, I wouldn't necessarily believe him. I don't think so. When they say, look at this, don't. Paint pictures on your TV. Now, children, your parents probably do not want you to paint pictures on your TV. But maybe paint other pictures or turn the TV off. Just, check with mom and dad and guardian first before you're painting pictures on your actual TV. If something gets taken, take it back. Right? They're taking back the Band-Aid, their friend, the Band-Aid. Leave smiley notes everywhere. And these little notes, some of them say, okay, there it is. There's that one. And here's this one. Leave smiley notes. See, the overlord says, I hate smiley notes. But they're saying things like, you are lovable. I'll be your friend. I hope you smile today. And there's a knock-knock joke, but we don't see the end of it. But some of us, in the middle of resistance, make friends. Create some happiness in your resistance between each other. Build relationships. Resistance shouldn't be boring. Have fun. See them having fun in resistance? Oh my gosh, a couple of the people who are on the overlord side have now moved over to the resistance. A couple more who are now dancing and revolting. Sometimes drawings say it better than mouths. This is controversial sometimes. Paint on the walls. Make comics. Well, you got to be choosy about which walls you draw on, maybe. If they listen, if they're listening in, find a new way to communicate. I love talking sideways. New ways to talk to one another. If they peek, now I would suggest you wear a funny costume for this. Give them something to see. Oh my gosh, shock. They're watching us. No, scandalous. I would suggest a funny costume personally, but if someone feels scared, help them feel safe. Welcome, friend. Hi, Billy. Welcome them in. Uh-huh. You tried to scare away the monster he thought might be there. That's really not, that is a very friendly thing to do. Okay, if they build a wall, tear it down. Work together. No bosses. Sometimes being quiet is better than yelling, because sometimes being quiet is resistance. And you see if you look closely, there's some historical figures in this picture. And remember, the revolution is over only when we say it's over. Do you see the revolution dance party? Oh, there's the revolution dance party. The overlord is not looking very happy. Now I'm going to read you this brief afterword. Listen closely, and listen closely. Sometimes people don't act very fairly. Is that true? And sometimes the people in charge won't do anything about it. Sometimes, and it might even be the people in charge who don't act fairly. Maybe they act like bullies. You tried talking and asking nicely, but that didn't work. When that happens, sometimes you have to take care of things yourself. Now, that doesn't mean by yourself, but rather than waiting for them to take care of it. You can practice resistance. You can even have a revolution. Resistance means to take action against the people who aren't acting fairly. Revolution means to change things. If something is not right, you can have a revolution to stop it. There is no one way to have a revolution, and you can have a revolution a whole bunch of different ways at once. The most popular kind of revolution is when people march down streets in a big crowd, carrying signs and making sure the people in charge know what the ordinary people want. What's that called? What? Protest, yes. The very best kind of revolution is one where people don't get hurt. Whatever kind of resistance you choose, and whichever revolution you decide to be a part of, we hope it is part of an effort to make the world a what? A better place. Because the world can always, like you said, be better than it is. So with that hope for resistance, we will continue our religious exploration in the Care Building. Oh, and let our lantern lighter head on through to lead the way. Thank you all.
Peace, salam, shalom. 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 Please turn and greet your neighbor.
have a confession to make. I don't think I've ever physically woven anything in my life. In fact, in preparation for sharing today on the topic of weaving beloved community, I was so insecure about my lack of experience in what I now know are called textile arts that I went down a bit of a rabbit hole on the trade-offs between weaving, knitting, and crocheting. Arguably not the best use of an early January afternoon, but maybe the start of a new hobby for 2026. I sought to understand this weaving analogy that we use so often so that I could apply it to our fellowship's Generosity Sunday practice. I discovered that weaving is the oldest of the three techniques and the most durable. It can incorporate strands of different color, texture, and strength to create a beautiful tapestry artwork. Generosity Sunday is one way that we reach beyond our familiar box of yarn into the larger community that surrounds us to identify and strengthen organizations that reflect our ERUUF and UUA principles, creating an even more brilliant and durable tapestry. Every other month, we spotlight a Durham-serving nonprofit organization and gift them with 2 weeks of our fellowship collection. In fact, over the last 12 months, we have gifted our Generosity Sunday recipients with just less than $20,000. Importantly, our weaving doesn't stop there. We often develop individual and organizational ties between ERUUF members, committees, and these deserving nonprofits that reinforce our collective efforts and translate into even greater impact where it's most needed. And make no mistake, this is a time of immense need. Reportedly, 1/3 of US nonprofit organizations have experienced disruptions in federal funding in the form of loss or delay. The impact extends beyond those directly affected at the federal level as these changes alter the broader fundraising environment for individuals along with state and local allocations. Among the most directly impacted sectors are social and community services, education, and humanitarian aid. In short, organizations focused on helping the most marginalized and attacked groups within our community. Fortunately, with the beginning of a new year, we have new opportunities to spotlight organizations we'll support in 2026. Our call for nominations will appear in the weekly e-news this Friday and will remain open until January 23rd. You can find the nomination criteria on the ERUUF website under the Justice Ministry tab. No weaving experience required, just your keen eye for organizations that embody our principles and serve our community's most pressing needs. So whether you're a seasoned textile artist or like me, a more recent aficionado, I invite you to join this essential work, help us identify the next threads to strengthen and accent our community tapestry. After all, the beautiful weavings aren't created by one person working alone, they're the result of many hands working together, each contributing something far greater and more brilliant than any single thread could ever achieve.
I invite you to find the most comfortable way of sitting wherever you are. Maybe you are going to let your feet go down to the floor. I invite you, if you are comfortable doing so, to let your eyes close or lose focus as we enter into these words for meditation for today. Holy mystery, silent presence, uncertain bearer of the weight of it all. In these quiet moments, we listen. We listen for the maybe still breathing, perhaps still whispering, faintest sign of the universal good. We listen between the cacophony of distractions, pulling us toward untruth and falsehood. We listen amidst the shrill cries of desperation, of "we've had enough," of "when will they stop killing my people," of "how much more will the waters rise," of "when will it be safe to return to my home," of "how much longer can I hang on?" We listen and we wait. Through the tumult of these days, we seek assurance. We seek the fulfillment of a promise made to ourselves, a promise made to those we have been stretched to call neighbor, a promise written and enshrined and yet unfulfilled. Help us, abiding mystery, to hang on, to hold on when all is in question, when all is in doubt. Help us to stay firm to our own commitments and our own promises. Lead us back into connection, back into the bonds of humanity that help us to know each other as beloved. May we continue listening. May we keep watch. May we beckon love and justice and mercy with our own whispers, with our shouts, with our cries, until all know themselves part of the circle of love. Each week we hold here at ERUUF this circle of love, holding the joys and concerns of this community, be those joys and concerns global, be they in our country, be they in our community, be they in our own individual person. Today, as I do every Sunday, I hold prayers and care for the conflict in this world, and I pray for leaders who make choices about conflict in this world. And today especially, I pray for the leaders of our own country, that they might see a way towards following the laws even of our own country. We also hold prayers for our community. We hold Lynn Willis in her diagnosis of cancer, and she is currently recovering well from surgery. We send prayers her way. She appreciates prayers. From Marianne Nicolosi, prayers for family and friends undergoing surgery this week. And from James Jordan, we hold that there has been a poor baby who has died in Durham this week. I am sure this happens throughout our world, and it is good to remember that there are these times that we grieve for those children who have gone. We also hold the possibilities in this world, the joys. James Jordan also shares with us Tony Jordan is on a journey of recovery from liver cancer, and Tina Mendoza Torres is recovering from an aneurysm. We hold the possibilities of those recoveries while we hold the challenge of illness and pain. I welcome everybody to bring to mind one joy or one concern that you hold in your own life, to hold in your heart, as we take one breath together for all that is among us. For the warmth that we give. Amen, and blessed be.
Our meditation hymn this morning is May I Be Light. The lyrics are on the screen. May I be light in you, may you be light in me. light in me, into our hearts, into our souls, let love abide. May I be love in you, may you be love in me, from this place out to the world for all time.
Love is the power to commune with someone's fundamental goodness while wishing that person deep well-being and happiness. Anytime we lack that genuine wish of love, we lack the motivation to be a significant help to others. Love is the motive power of help. We ache at the violence, pain, and hunger in our world, and inside us is a will to help. But help only helps if it is an active expression of love. Otherwise, our attempts to help, limited by narrow self-concern, become rigid and too easily discouraged. We may want to protect our dear ones, but who will protect them from us at those times when we worry just about ourselves and are not listening to them? The violence in the world that we hear about in the daily news and so decry, is it only caused by those others? Haven't we all contributed to the coarsening atmosphere of intolerance and distrust whenever we've lacked a loving response and indulged our most self-centered tendencies? How can we make the world safer if we ourselves are not a stable port of safety? Can we be honest about this?
I don't know how many of you have been up here at this pulpit. We have stones here. This one says imagine. This one says believe. And this one says courage. So greetings of the new year to you. How are y'all doing on day 4 so far? So many people I know expressed a great happiness at ending 2025 and a joy at beginning 2026. And yet, already, it feels a little like rather than starting a new chapter or closing the book on this past year, we have simply moved on to the next paragraph or turned a page in the same chapter. As some of you might know, each month we as a congregation focus on a theme which is most often first expressed here in our Sunday services and then branches out to the religious exploration classes that our children engage in and moves out even further and suggests themes for the covenant groups and chalice circles that form our small group ministry. This month, we begin our year not only on the theme of resistance, but the theme of practicing resistance. A theme, it seems, we shall indeed need to become quite knowledgeable about and well practiced in. And it has made sense that we would address this well-timed theme in January. After all, we celebrate the birthday of one of the great exemplars of this practicing of resistance, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who I'll say more about shortly. But what I do feel compelled to acknowledge now is a statement issued yesterday by our Unitarian Universalist Association condemning the military strikes against Venezuela, which were done with the express purpose of capturing the country's president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, and seizing control of the country in violation of international laws. Within the statement the UUA issued, it says, as a people of faith and conscience, it is essential to speak out now as this situation quickly escalates, creating danger across the hemisphere. Unitarian Universalists, UUs, believe that these actions violate our shared religious values, particularly of interdependence and pluralism, and principles which UUs affirm for themselves and for society. In a statement of conscience passed in 2010 called Creating Peace, UUs proclaim that all people share a moral responsibility to create peace. That statement also said that UUs repudiate aggressive and preventive wars, the disproportionate use of force, covert wars, and targeting that includes a high risk to civilians, and called for peacemaking efforts at all levels of human interaction. The statement continues, the people of Venezuela have the right, as all people do, to safety and self-determination. We urge our elected leaders and the courts to exercise definitive moral leadership to swiftly curtail these abuses of power. And we raise our voices and pledge our active solidarity along with all people of faith and conscience who will, in the coming days and weeks, put values into action in the pursuit of peace, justice, and freedom for all our neighbors at home and around the world. If you wish to read the complete statement, you can actually just Google UU's Venezuela and it'll come up, or you can go to the UUA website. So some of you who have known me for a little while might find this hard to believe, but I do not enjoy talking about politics from the pulpit. And while some have said that I preach about justice too much, what I actually lift up as a person of faith, as the spiritual leader of ERUUF, is the immorality of injustice. Which I actually do not enjoy talking about from the pulpit either, and sometimes have not done so when I should have. Though someone pointed out to me when we missed mentioning an injustice during our December celebrations last month, the heinous mass shooting in Australia during a Hanukkah celebration, one of several mass shootings that occurred within days of one another in different places that week, one of the many injustices that occurred, I and the other ministers here are admittedly fallible and will miss some things in our 24-hour global news cycle. Unfortunately, there are so many acts of injustice, we cannot name them all, not even all the heinous acts of injustice occurring right here and now in the state of North Carolina. So, what I shall no longer do, my friends, is apologize for or feel badly about any discomfort that is experienced by some at what I might bring up in speaking about injustice from this pulpit. Because it is right that we feel uncomfortable, that we feel that our heartfelt yearning for peace and for a focus on love is disrupted, because it has been. And so, it is good that you feel this way. Please turn off these devices. Please. It is good that you feel this way and that you might want to recoil, to go somewhere else, be with others where it feels a bit more comfortable. But my purpose here is to lead us more fully into the embrace of our values and to see us make our principles real in the world. And the fact is, these principles and values we stand for as UUs, if we choose to bring them to life, are not for the faint of heart. Though we might choose to address them in a faint-hearted way, as mere words on a page rather than the powerful statements of a disruptive love that they are. A love that seeks to upend complacency by disrupting the normalcy of injustice. A love that interrupts retaliatory violence and punitive systems. A love that models accountability and repair. A love that seeks to redirect power from domination to restoration, centering the dignity of all beings, all of life, rather than the control of it. A love that understands that in our interdependence, we have a relational responsibility to ourselves, one another, and to our planet, a responsibility that demands structural change. A love that is willing to disrupt our very own comfort, status, privilege in order to do all these things, which, as I say, is a love that is not for the faint of heart. One of the most powerful statements about love that took me years to come to an understanding of was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s statement, "Power, love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic." Those very words made me tremble. What was he talking about? I wondered. But over time, I have come to understand that my trembling was about my fear of how I'd seen power modeled. While the kind of love King was talking about was a disruptive love, one that has the capacity and understanding and understands the necessity of our call to hold both love and power together. Otherwise, our efforts to bring about good in the world and to resist violent, oppressive, dehumanizing forces, in other words, power without love, our efforts, if we were to hold power in such a way, will either lose their moral integrity or the capacity to transform the world for the well-being of all beings, every single being. We would instead be wielding power in a manner that is reckless and abusive. And we are seeing and experiencing such power in our nation right now, and also elsewhere in the world. And this, we are rightly distressed and uncomfortable about. And it is also understandable that we would prefer to gather in a space such as this to lay these burdens down. Because our souls, our spirits, our hearts are deeply troubled. But I can say to you, and I believe that deep within, you are already aware of this, that our troubled hearts, our discomfort and distress will not disappear just because we don't talk about it. And what better place to talk about such things than this very place, where our collective mission is in being a covenantal religious community of spirit, service, justice, and love, where we are collectively learning to live into our interdependence and oneness, our oneness, rather than separation with all. Where we might sing and laugh and express our joy to be in one another's presence, while also learning how to live our not for the faint of heart values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, centered and grounded in a love that is powerful because it is compassionate, awake, grounded and aware, and so informs our ways of being and thinking, compels our sense of responsibility and accountability to take strategic action that continually works for and organizes for systemic and structural change. Love, without such power, ultimately results in a well-meaning compassion that brings about needed charity, but it is not creating the structural changes that cause the charity to be needed in the first place. And I will also acknowledge this. Ultimately, both compassionate charity and a powerful disruptive love are needed. It is often because of the compassionate actions of those who see and respond to a need that those who organize for systemic and structural change initially see the work that is needed to be disrupted. The work that is needed so that it can cause fewer people to suffer. We UUs are engaged in effective disruptive love through our global human rights work with the UU Service Committee, which provides support and organizes for change with grassroots organizations both here in the United States and around the world. It is my great honor to serve as board co-chair for the UU Service Committee, and also Suki Neng, who is here, is on the board as well. UUs for Justice in the Middle East is another organization that has been steadfast in living our values by seeking change for people in one of the most intractable, conflict-ridden places on our planet. In fact, I shall be traveling to Palestine with a delegation of UUs sponsored by UUs for Justice in the Middle East. And for those of you who have not yet seen the notice, instead of a sermon on January 25th, I will share about my experiences there by responding in one of our, instead of a sermon, I will respond to your questions that you have about the conflict in this region. So please, if you don't look at it for any other reason, see E-News for how to submit a question. Because the questions need to be submitted in advance and the deadline is January 20th. And I really hope many of you will choose to submit a question. We here at ERUUF have also been engaged in effective, disruptive love as well, organizing to bring about change through our partnerships with other faith-based organizations such as Durham CAN, UnitarianUniversalist, and also with community organizations such as DurhamNC, NC Blue, voter registration groups, and others. But even in all of this, we must be careful of several important things. First is a performative solidarity. That is love without a commitment to structural or systemic engagement. Second is any coercive tactics in which we are unconsciously compelling those impacted by justice to engage in solutions that we believe are needed without listening to what people already know that they need, which might seem rather simplistic to us, but addressing these initially identified needs allow people to take the next step in addressing their own needs with us. And third, and I actually believe this third one is the most important for each of us, and that is this: self-reflection about the limits of our own capacity to love in our own lives, where within our very selves might there be a need for disruptive love. A love that we're holding ourselves accountable to on the daily, beginning with our very interactions with the people in our day-to-day lives. If we are unwilling to address and work toward repair and restoration and forgiveness in the conflicts that reside in the microcosm of our lives, it is no small wonder that we might find the larger conflicts in our communities and in the world insurmountable. What are we practicing? Is it a disruptive love that leads us to transformation of consciousness? Because the consciousness that created a problem cannot solve it. We need a fundamental shift in how we are relating to one another. Because without such inner reflection and resulting action, we remain trapped in our own reactive patterns that ultimately recreate the same problems in our own lives and also in the world around us. This, my friends, is where the rubber meets the road and where our real work is. It ain't easy. I'm here to tell you. The change we seek is both individual and collective. The question is, who do we risk becoming, and what world do we risk creating if we forget to love or have a weak commitment to it? If we lose love, whether as individuals or collectively, we risk becoming transactional, replicating harm, hardening our hearts and communities, creating new hierarchies when we might come upon a little power, and compromising our values and our integrity. This is the standard I hold myself to each and every day, and it challenges me constantly. But it is both my spiritual practice And when it comes to injustice, small or great, it forms the ground, the center, and the power of the disruptive love that I personally am committed to cultivating within myself and in the world around me. Without power in our commitment to bring about change, transform systems, and nurture belonging, I or we risk being complicit in ongoing harm despite any claim to good intentions. Bringing our values to life is not work for the uncommitted, nor the faint of heart. It's not. And so with that in mind, I'm going to lighten this up a little. And I want to leave you with some words that I heard yesterday from one of our members as the closing words for a meeting that we were in. And they are this: keep my anger from becoming meanness. Keep my sorrow from collapsing into self-pity. Keep my heart soft enough to keep breaking. To keep breaking. Keep my anger turned toward justice, not cruelty. And remind me that all of this, every bit of it, is for love. Keep me fiercely kind. And I would add, fiercely and disruptively so. Let us make it so, my friends. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. Okay, I'm pulling it together. I'm not going to cry. But anyway, and maybe I should. It's all right. We all know what it takes to be here like this, right? What it takes to co-create this together over years and years and years of co-creating. It takes our time. It takes our imagination. It takes our creativity, and it takes our treasures. So as the greeters come forward to collect this morning's offering, if you do not have something for the pouches, the invitation is to point your device at the QR code above, and it will lead you directly to our giving portal.
Up this morning with a smile on my face, no longer running in that human race. Gave up on playing all those silly games. I'm getting in tune, getting beyond the names, 'cause this is no phase, this ain't no dream, this ain't no plot cooked up by some machine. This is no trick, this is no joke, this is no new religion. I'm becoming human, becoming human. And up just like clockwork, pop those voices in my head. I said not today, and I put them back to bed. Gave up those plans that were so well rehearsed. And I'm happy right here in this second verse, 'cause this is no plot, this ain't no scheme. It's not some well-crafted market strategy. This is real life, it's not TV. This is no new direction. I'm becoming human, becoming human, human. And oh, I've sung so many songs about the future. I want to sing one about right here, right now. 'Cause hope deferred is no hope at all. And though the kingdom may be yet to come, I know that the kingdom is here. The kingdom is here. Oh, hey, 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 becoming human. Ooh, hey, oh. I tore down those monuments I'd built to all my fears, and all that resistance just disappeared. Opened my eyes to the beauty all around, and all that dirt became my higher ground. And this is no shift, it's a common theme. It's not the product of some new regime. It's nothing new, it's the same old thing. One simple revolution. I'm becoming human, becoming human, becoming human, becoming human. Hey, I'm becoming human. Becoming human.
Give thanks for all of the gifts of our beloved community, the gift of music. Thank you, Brandon and Chrissy, for your music. It was really enjoyable. And thank you, Ra, also, for your work. All right, take it away.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere.
Closing words today are simply this. They come from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Take as long as you need to ponder these words. And may we cultivate a powerful and disruptive love. Go in peace, my friends. Go in love, go with courage, and go knowing that you are not alone. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.